I have two very beautiful guests with me. To my right, I have the national president of the Young Professionals Club and also the representative, one of the representatives in the Young Professionals Club. I have Pastor Ayoola Jolayemi and Miss Ibukun Olagboju. Thank you for joining us. You are welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Honoring our invitation. We are glad to have you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm going to come straight to Pastor Ayoola. Pastor Ayoola, as young people, we're always gingered about our careers and then now talking about soldiers, we have to be up, we have to be charged in every sphere of life, including our career. So I just want you to tell us, why is it important as young people that we have thriving careers, and especially as Christians? Because some can say it's a worldly thing to say, oh, you're focusing on your career, you're doing that. But as Christians, as people who believe God, why is it important that our careers are at the peak that it can be?
Thank you so much, Esther, and good afternoon again, everybody watching from all over the world. Our careers are actually as important as every part of our life. I believe very strongly that our career is an act of worship. It's also a place of worship, and it's a place of expressing God's creativity, God's excellence for others to see. Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and then glorify your Father in heaven." Ecclesiastes also speaks about whatever your hand finds to do, do with all of your heart, do with all of your might, and do with all of your strength. Paul was speaking in 1 Corinthians 10:31. Whatever you do, whether you eat or drink, do to the glory of God. So if you think about those three scriptures put together, you will find out that our career is actually a means of glorifying God. So if we think about the theme of the Congress, Onward Christian Soldier, it's simply saying, onward Christian soldier in your career. You must march forward and push forward in your career to be a better version of yourself. And not just for yourself alone, but for your immediate community, the country you're in, and for the Church of God globally. So our career is so important. We must advance because it's not only for our own good. It's for the good of everybody.
The nation and then the world at large. Yes. Praise the Lord. Thank you so much. So I was going to initially ask how far you've been enjoying the Congress so far, from day one, day two. Have you been enjoying it? Let me start with Mr. Ibukun.
It's been so fantastic. Let me use that word.
Okay.
Because the truth is, I never thought I was going to be able to come for the Congress due to work. But I'm just so grateful to God that I've been able to come, and sincerely, I really enjoyed it, particularly yesterday.
Okay, so what advice will you give to those people who are still at home, still trying to see, should I come, should I not come?
I would advise everyone to please find their way to the redemption camp. You can't afford to miss it.
You've heard it. Find your way to the redemption city of God and make sure you are part of this year's Congress. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You said our careers are a way of our worship to God.
Yes.
And, we're talking about onward Christian soldiers moving forward in our life, not just spiritually, not just physically, not just financially, like how we'll be talking about later on in the show, but also in our careers. And thank you so much, Pastor Ayo, for just highlighting that our careers are really important to God, and also important to us, and important to the people around us.
Absolutely.
So, Pastor Ayo, you are the national president of the Young Professionals Club.
Okay.
And I know the Young Professionals Club is a body of entrepreneurs, innovators, and creators and professionals, who come together for advancement and development of the industry. Am I right?
Very correct.
So, for people out there, could you just give us an overview of what the Young Professional Club is all about?
Okay.
What's the whole initiative about? What's the goal? What's the purpose?
So, thank you so much. The Young Professionals Club is a vision that our Father in the Lord, Daddy Gio, has always been passionate about. And that is very much about community. And the National Youth Pastor, Pastor Jolayemi, came up with the vision of the Young Professionals Club, mainly to say, how do we influence the marketplace with Christ-centered values? Pure and simple, ensuring that the marketplace is so big, whether you're in the entrepreneurial space, whether you're in the creative economy, whether you're in the normal 9-to-5, an employee, an employer, you are in the marketplace. So there's buying and selling. In fact, I tell people, if you're a preacher, you are buying and selling. Because you're actually preaching, you're selling Jesus.
You're selling the gospel, and then you're buying souls. You're buying
so we are literally in the marketplace everywhere we are. So the key thing is, When this vision came, and in the month of April, we had our inaugural event, it was clear that the Church of God, RCCG, has people all over the place. But the question has always been, what is our agenda? What is that overarching goal we hope to achieve with the people in the marketplace? And how are we ensuring that our soldiers who are in these marketplaces are properly thriving, are properly guided and guarded against contamination? So what better way to do that than community? So which is what brought about the Young Professionals Club, a place where we're able to bring people together. We call it uniting and empowering professionals globally with Christ-centered values, right? Ensuring that you're united. So we're bringing them in with 5 pillars. The 5 pillars of YPC is, number 1 is our faith. We are very much clear about our faith. We're preaching Jesus, teaching people, discipling them to also be disciples of other people. Number 2 is networking, helping our people to connect with one another, people who are either at the entry level of their career, mid-level of their career, at the peak of their career, or even sunsetting in their careers, to have that sort of interweave of different levels of people across different sectors. And then number 3 is opportunities, ensuring that we open up our people to the diverse opportunities. And it's so amazing what God has done in just 7 months that we've ran with this vision, the kind of opportunities that people have been opened up to, what people have benefited, trainings, jobs, grants, and name it. And number 4 is mentorship. So we have people who are at the peak of their career, we have those who are at the beginning of their career, who are that matched in a mentor-mentee matching, ensuring that the people can be groomed to see what they need to do and how they can avoid the booby traps, that are in the careers. Whether you like it or not, every career is peculiar.
Yeah.
So ensure that the mentors can guide the mentees not to make the same mistakes they made or what the trends are in that sector. And the number 5 is training. So ensuring that our people are, number 1, trained to be better employed, so they are more employable. I tell people that it's not that there are no jobs. There are jobs, but we have people who are employable. So we are also, and those who are already in jobs, who are transitioning to other jobs, those who are in business, looking for those to train them along the line of their businesses. So these are the 5 legs on which YPC stands.
And I'm grateful to God for one thing, that is built on faith.
Absolutely.
It has the foundation of faith, it has the pillar of faith, and it also has the covering of faith. So
absolutely.
It's like faith all around. It's in the marketplace, it's about our career, but also putting our Christian values into it.
Very
Thank you so much, sir. So, Mr. Buko, I'm going to ask you, Pastor Ayo has talked about, the 5 points of YPC. So I want to ask, particularly about the mentoring and the mentee aspect of it. How does it work? Do we have mentors and then, mentees just come, or how does the whole process work? Because a lot of young people out there are trying to find role models. And as Christians, we are employed, or we are advised to pick, role models whose values align with our values. So in the mentoring and mentee relationship of the YPC, how does that work? How does that, come about? How does that come to play?
Okay, thank you for that question. Just a few days back, we launched just 6 communities, and for each of the communities, they have a mentor, and this is how it works. Basically, from next year, January, that's 2025, we have programs in place for each of the communities.
Is it like a workshop?
Yes, we have workshop, we have events where all mentees will come together, their mentor will be there to address them. There are programs even in the community WhatsApp group and other avenues where they would organize programs. Everyone will come around, those in that community, and the mentor would be able to, train them on so many things. They have one-on-one discussions and all that. So there's going to be a grassroots thing. It's not just the mentor there and the mentee there. No, they're going to come together. It's more like a grassroots.
So they have a one-on-one kind of setting relationship.
Yes.
So don't you guys fear the number? Maybe the number of the mentees, would they be too much for the mentor to handle, or what? How do you plan on that?
That's why people like her. Because so every community has what you call the community mentorship support team.
Okay.
Yes.
So she, for instance, is in the finance community and also driving the accounting money. So she's an accountant. So she's working with the community lead mentor. So you have a lead mentor, you have community mentors, and you have the community support mentorship team.
That are like
so there's a cascading model to ensure that one person is not belabored with that. So I think I would ask her to speak about the guidelines that govern, because we ensure that we have guidelines that govern the communities to ensure that there are no abuses.
Okay, all right.
Well.
Go ahead.
Okay, so one of the guidelines we have is you don't overcrowd all communities. For instance, as an individual, you want to belong to one community or the other. You're not allowed to join more than 2 communities.
Yes. Okay.
So that way, we're able to streamline those in each community.
Yes, and then for the purpose of our viewers and my fellow soldiers out there, the communities are based on the professions.
Yes,
that people
sectors.
have.
Yes.
So based on the different sectors of the economy, that's what the communities are based on.
Yeah. So for each of the communities, there are rules. And one of them, like I said, you are not allowed to join more than 2 communities. So after you're not allowed to just send messages on the group, on the community group, except you take authorization from either of the admins.
Okay.
Yes. And then the community is not just about you seeking financial assistance. There's nothing like that on the community. So, like our people, some people would always want to take advantage. So, because of course, we have to take cognizance of the fact that there would always be wolves in sheep clothing. So, of course, we've told everyone there's nothing like financial assistance on the group. The group is mainly for you to learn and also to impact others. It's not just for you to pick and take and all that. You should be able to also...
You're being poured, you're being watered.
You should water.
More reason why we said you shouldn't join more than 2 communities, so that you can also be active. So another rule there is that we need you to be active. Okay. So once we realize
there's no ghost
member.
People like me that once I'm in a group, I don't say anything. So there's no ghost member.
No ghost member. We will fish you out. You have to talk. So we need you to be active on those groups. When there are programs, when there are events, we need you to come around. We need you to also be active to talk about things. And also, there are times that, for instance, in finance, there are so many things happening now in the tax sector. And you see people talking about it. So those are those things we want our people to actively get involved in. We want you to talk about it. What are those challenges you're facing in your own space?
So it's more like a traditional community where everybody will gather at the town square.
Absolutely.
And we are talking about every family problem and everything. Wow.
Yeah. So one of the things that makes the YPC very special is the fact that, yes, you have collectives in the community, so there are conversations happening in those small silos, but yet we still have the administrative leg of the regions and the provinces. Wow. Where you have events that happen. For instance, we've had trade fairs organized.
We're coming to that. We're coming to the events. It's fine.
So we've had such things happen where we've had business pitches where people come to then talk about their business.
So you have the community. So the community is more like every day.
Every day. Then you now have
maybe quarterly or something.
Now that happens across regions and provinces as well as national. And just recently now international.
Oh, wow.
Because thanks to God,
global.
thanks to God and the leadership of the youth ministry, we now have the go-ahead to also spread
it out.
These into other countries. We have representatives from Benin Republic, from Turkey, from Saudi Arabia, from Iran, from the UK, from Australia already now within the community. So our joy is that people are beginning to see the need to come together under the umbrella of their professions. Right, and that is helping us to also become more impactful. So, for instance, if we have an agenda, we want to ensure that in this space, like she mentioned, the issue of taxes, can we have robust conversations around this? We have governance. We have 20 communities, for instance, and it's across governance, finance, oil and gas, technology, health, that you're in, arts and entertainment, and all of that. So if there's something happening, for instance, in the finance community around taxes, when they have robust conversations and they have a communique, they can pass that to the governance community. And the governance community can take that feedback.
It's more like a model United Nations. I'm telling you. So where a particular committee discuss and then they make their resolution and pass it on.
God bless you. So we believe very strongly that when we start driving how we should drive, the impact on the country will be remarkable. The impact on the church, because then Daddy wants to say something. He has a place where all the professionals in our city are in.
His facts are checked.
Yes, so you can go ahead and confirm what's happening in this place. We have the military and paramilitary, we have legal, we have everybody. We have healthcare. So there are things that needs to happen. You can fact check, you can cross check your data with community experts before you then go public. And that helps us to actually make its inclusivity at the height of it. You have people at the beginning of their career,
and then you have people at the top.
Peak of their career. Yeah. It's remarkable.
And they are all together under one body.
Faith.
That's just under the umbrella of faith.
Absolutely.
Yes. Wow, it's amazing how structured the YPC is. It's amazing what you guys have done in the space of 7 months.
Yes, ma'am.
Since the inception. And we just want to say thank God for your leadership and thank God for his wisdom and his grace.
Bless God.
So back to Mrs. Obiko, I want you to talk about the processes of YPC, what goes on. You know, you shed a little bit of light, talking about the conversations, the community, but beyond that, what are the processes? What are the things that go on, like the administrative work? Pastor was talking about, we have the support staff, then we have the mentors at the top of the pyramid. So please shed more light on the processes of YPC.
Okay, the processes of onboarding, I'll speak about that a little. Okay, so for you to join us in the community, just go through the website, that's www.youngprofessionalsclub.org. After you've gone through the website, there's a link there where you could do your registration, you fill in your biodata, your name, and some information, some questions will be asked, and also that's where you're going to pick a community where you would like to join, because that's one of the parameters we use in acceptance into
so that's like
community.
The initial screening.
Yes. In fact, you would have to upload a headshot.
Yeah.
Yes, into the distance. So after you have done that, we at the back end, we go through all the information you've provided, and then we admit you into the community.
Okay.
Then we'll now check again. What are the information you've put up that you've included? What community did you say you would like to join and all that? So we cross-check with what the community you're saying you would want to join again. Exactly. So that's what we would use in admitting you in. However, like I said, you're allowed to join
just one.
Two. No, you can join two communities, yes. Because there are times that, for instance, last week, while I was trying to onboard a particular person, she told me that she actually filled IT. However, she works in a financial institution.
Okay.
Yes, so she said she would like to be in finance and also IT and technology. Yes, so we had to admit her.
All right. So we have grace to join two.
Yes, two communities.
And the two, do they really have to be similar, or like somebody can want to join the governance and the politics and then also be in the creative?
Yes, I was about going there. For instance, like Pastor Ayoola said, I think while we're having the launching, he said maybe in the nearest future, you could say you would like to venture into politics.
Okay, so you have that grace to join two communities, and you won't be flagged up for it.
Oh, no, not more than two.
Not more than two.
Yeah. But the way the system is structured is so that they at the back end ensure you're not in more than two. So it's not an automatic admittance into communities.
So is there what's the time frame?
24 to 48 hours is given. Yes, because we have great people like them.
I think she deserves a round of applause.
We have great people like them who ensure that the wheels keep running, right? Wow. And I think it'd be safe to mention also for now that so far we've run the YPC on volunteers. Wow. Everybody working has worked tirelessly from the back end, without being
from their heart, not because
when I mean from their heart, from their heart.
Wow.
And you will be blessed to know that the Church of God, RCCG, is blessed with technocrats in different places. The community in the oil and gas is led by the MD of an oil servicing company. Wow. The politics space is being led by a commissioner in a state. It's not just, a commissioner in a state is leading the public service community. The banking sector is led by a group head, a C-level executive in one of the Nigerian banks. Wow. The FMCG is led by a director in one of the FMCGs. The technology group is led by a director in one of the, so you can tell that, Art and entertainment is led by BJ Sachs. Just to give an instance. I mean, what better way to explain the beauty that God has blessed the church with? And one of the things that YPC, through our pastor, Pastor Jolayemi, and the IYP, Pastor Jolayemi Nabunge, have decided is that we must benefit from each other. And that's why YPC is here. Let each one teach one. Let each one reach one. So that...
let each one teach one.
Let each one reach one. So that at least at the end of the day, we don't have people who are just barely surviving. We have people who are thriving.
So it's not just a case of we have people that are here and some people are here.
There has to be
so everybody has to be.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. So for, you mentioned volunteers, that you have the people working behind the scenes are volunteers. So if there are people that want to get involved, how can they reach out? How can they reach out and say, I want to be involved, I want to be part of this movement of God? Okay,
you can as often go through the website.
Okay, so please, for the sake of my soldiers that were probably not listening the first time,
www.youngprofessionalsclub.org.
Okay, www.youngprofessionalsclub.org. The club is important, please. Yes. Okay, so you go there and then...
Yes, so you would write to us, just telling us your interest, how you can be of benefit.
Okay.
Because we really need to know your area of strength so that we'll know how to place you.
Exactly. Okay, so you just write your interests, what you want to do, where you want to serve, and then you guys pick it up.
Yes, we take it up.
And the person will be contacted.
Absolutely.
Okay, so...
Be rest assured that the response time is good. Like I said, we have people like Mrs. Iboko and a host of other professionals. The good thing is every person who is driving, even the support team, are also either mid-career or senior career as well. I mean, she's a chartered accountant. The others are brand managers. You have, strong professionals in various fields that are in that community of support team members. So be rest assured that you're coming, so you're serving with people that are also going somewhere. So even if you're coming in as someone who is just at the beginning of your career, you believe you can offer value, you believe you can do so much.
Your services and you're also learning.
Absolutely.
So it's not a thing of you have to wait for 1 week before you get a response.
No.
Maximum 2
48
days.
hours.
48 hours. All right. So now, Pastor, I would like us to talk about the future of YPC. I know we're just starting. But then it's always important to know where we're headed. So you don't really have to tell me like the 10-year plan, but maybe like next year, 2 years from now, 5-year plan.
I mean, when we launched the YPC, the first thing that, and I think it'd be good to give a shout out to some people that were very instrumental at the beginning. People like Pastor David Ugain, Mevin Azeta, Phoebe.
Thank you so much.
Ademola and Joshua Adele. Quite a few of them were, and Pastor Jolayemi also sat through some of the sessions just to listen through and give guidance as to what we're doing. So during that whole process, we came up with what we call a roadmap, a 3-year roadmap for the YPC, and that includes the issue of membership. Our target is to have 1 million members by the end of 2027, by the grace of God. And already we are going towards that. In 7 months, we are already inching close to 10,000. Roughly about 8,000 plus members already now across on our database. Wow. We're plugging them into communities already. Secondly is that we want to have a strong female representation in RCCG's YPC. And that's a personal vision, and thank God it's been adopted.
So to my female soldiers, please, let's charge up.
It's been adopted. Like you said, I came to the program today. I was accompanied by a female member.
And you're interviewed?
And I'm being interviewed by a female soldier. Okay. And even the community right now, we have 6 communities live. 3 are being led by women. 3 are being led by men. The target was 35%, but they say shoot for the stars. I mean, for the moon, for the sun. You land among the stars, right? So we are going for 50%. If we don't meet the 50%, we'll have 35% of women involvement across all the YPC leadership. And that's because we found out that can't stay in the kitchen. The work is actually out there. Let's do the real.
And you're creating a hub where they are welcome.
I'm telling
they feel
you,
comfortable.
they feel
because that's
like
one thing for ladies. If they don't feel welcome
You
and
run away.
comfortable, we'll just move to one
So
side.
that's there. We also want to create enterprise funds, 3 focused enterprise funds, specific industry focused enterprise funds to drive those who are in businesses and support them to grow. We also want to have a student membership path by the end of 2027, and that's to ensure that those who are YPC are student members. And
So not until you are a professional,
No.
you're already working.
That's something we are gunning for
Wow.
by 2027, Christ tarrying, God sparing all our lives. And that's because we know that when people are at that stage of their life, they need the most support. They need the most guidance. And so those are the key areas we're looking at. And then more importantly, the biggest of them all is that we want to actually be a big contributor to the Vision 2032 goal of RCCG by ensuring that we have thoroughbred professionals who are not just providing solutions in their marketplaces, but actually being ambassadors of Jesus.
Christ.
In
So
those
it's not
places.
one without the other
No.
at the YPC.
No.
It is together. There's no career without Christ.
No.
And there's no Christ without
Come
God
on.
in our career.
I like that.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so for the YPC, you've talked about the future plans, you've talked about the goals, you've talked about the processes on how to be involved and all. And then you said something, you said you launched 7 or 8
Six
communities
launched
out
already.
of 20.
Out of 20, so we have 14.
So what's the timeline for the remaining communities?
When the soldiers show up,
Oh, so it's left to, okay,
when the soldiers
soldiers,
show
it's
up.
left to you.
so we have, like I mentioned, we have 20 communities. We've launched 6 of the 20 communities, and those communities were launched because we had thoroughbred professionals who had what it took to lead, guide, and mentor, and also be available time-wise for our communities. So if you're out there watching, you know that God has blessed you, you have risen to the peak of your career or almost there, and you believe you have something to offer to the people in the legal space, in the energy space, that's power, in the sports, in fashion and beauty, in healthcare. We still have, like I said, 14 key communities that are yet to be filled up. You know that you have what it takes to be a provider of guidance. Please reach out to us, www.youngprofessionalsclub.org, or you can just write to us, info@youngprofessionalsclub.org, and let us know how you want to be part of us. You don't have to be in Lagos. You don't even have to be in Nigeria.
Yeah, because you mentioned that you have people.
Yes, you don't have to be in Lagos. You don't have to be in Nigeria. As long as you are at a great point in your career, you also have the ability to pass across knowledge, and you have time on your hand to spare at least once a week to engage with your community. Please reach out to us, and it will be our honor to have you talk to us and then see where you can help us fulfill this big goal that God has given to us.
Yes. So it has been an amazing time talking to both of you. But before we wrap up and leave this segment, I would want both of you to, starting with Mrs. Iboko, to give an advice to upcoming professionals, people who are already, working in their profession and want to upscale or build their community. Just a word of advice to them.
Okay. If you want it, you'll get it.
Wow.
Don't feel limited. Yes, there are so many things around you, challenges, Nigeria economy, and all, but don't feel limited. If you want it, you'll get it. That's just all I'll say. My first degree was in history, but today I'm a chartered accountant.
Wow.
Yes, so if you want it, you'll get it.
Okay, thank you. So if you want it, you get it, and you do everything possible to ensure that you get it. Thank you so much, Mrs. Iboko. And then Pastor Ayo, just a word of advice to young entrepreneurs, creators, innovators, even to students who are watching us right now.
My counsel to you will be for you to know that light shines best in darkness. So you are the light of the world, not just the light of the light. So you're not meant to shine in the church alone. You're meant to take the light of God to the world. So don't hide your identity when you're in the marketplace. Shine. God wants you to do so. It will be a beautiful thing to see the things that God will do through every believer in the marketplace. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to my soldiers for sticking with us. Remember, it's still the youth expression of the Holy Ghost Congress. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short musical break by The Next Generation.